Now, in the last lesson, we looked at the simplest type of CSS selectors, and that is selecting based on the HTML tags. Now, in this lesson, I want to show you the other things that you can use as selectors in order to make more specific changes to your website. So, for example, we have this image of a piece of bacon. Now, what if I wanted to have another image that was a broccoli, and I want to show people how much I dislike broccoli? Then I could go to Emojipedia and I could search for broccoli, and I found my broccoli. And this is a really cool website because it lists all of the emoji graphics from different operating systems. So this is Apple's version of a broccoli emoji, and this is Google's, this is Microsoft. Not sure that this looks more like a tree than a broccoli. But feel free to go through this list and see what emoji you prefer. I quite like this one. I think it's most realistic. And then just go ahead and right click and copy the image address. And we're going to use that as the source of our image. And you can see up here, this is exactly the same way how I got the image for our bacon. And I'm just going to add an alt text just in case the image doesn't display. And I'm going to say this is the broccoli dash image. So now if I hit save and I go to my bacon fan site, you can see that my broccoli now shows up. But the curious thing is that my broccoli also has a red background, even though I just put it on screen. I didn't even have time to look at the styles yet. So why is that? Well, if we take a look inside style.css, you can see that by targeting the image tag, we're applying this red background color to every single image inside our website. And that might be what you want, but in most cases, that's not really specific enough. And in my case, what I'd like to do is that I want to have the bacon to have a green background color to say, eat more bacon, and the broccoli to have a red background color to say, broccoli is evil. So how can I achieve that? Well, I can't do that just by using tag selectors. So I have to go a little bit more advanced in my CSS, and I have to use class selectors. So if you head into your index.html, and after the image tag, we're going to add another attribute. So remember, HTML attributes are things like the source or the alt tag, etc. And the one that we want to add now is the class attribute. Now, the class attribute allows us to differentiate all of our different HTML elements. So for example, for this bacon image, I'm going to give the class a name of bacon. And for the broccoli image, I'm going to name this class broccoli. So now what I can do is, instead of coloring all the images red, so I'm going to go ahead and comment this out. So in CSS, commenting is a little bit different from HTML in the sense that we have to use a /, a asterisk, and then to end the block of comments, we use another asterisk and a /. So everything in between the asterisks will be commented out and won't be considered as code. So let's give our CSS file some sections, shall we? Let's say that the top section are our tag selectors, and the next section are our class selectors. So inside this section, I'm going to tap into that bacon class in order to only change the styling for the bacon image and give it a background color of green. So to target a class rather than a tag, the only difference is a full stop or a dot in front of the class. So my class is called bacon. So to use it as a selector, I just say dot bacon, and the rest of the CSS rule looks exactly the same. And I'm going to say that for the bacon class, I want their background color to be green, but for the broccoli class, Now make sure you don't have any typos, because if you misspell the selector, the property, or the value, you might not get what you expect. For example, what I've done here, because they all need to be spelled exactly the same way as you spelled it inside your HTML code when you gave the class a name. So for our broccoli image, we want the background color to be red. So now if we hit save, then what's going to happen is that different styles will be applied to our two images. So even though they're both image HTML elements, because this one has a class of bacon, it's going to have a background color of green, as we specified. And because this one has a class of broccoli, it's going to have a background color of red. So let's just quickly verify. And there we go. We've got our bacon that's colored in green, telling you how healthy it is. And we've got our broccoli colored in red, telling you how it's probably not edible. So for things like paragraph elements or image elements or anchor tags, then it's very, very rare that you'll want to style them exactly the same way. So by using the class as the selector, you can better differentiate and make more specific styling choices for your website elements.